My name is Indigo Ayo Ra, aka Sheena D of SDH Entertainment LLC.
Welcome back to the Unpleasant Thoughts Podcast. It's your boy Slider Guy No Lie.
Shampoo, aka Big Shampoo.
And we have another very special guest with us. You know, a hometown great, somebody who's pretty sure started in the community. Go ahead and tell about yourself and tell them where to find you at.
All right. Well, my name is Indigo Ayo Ra, aka Sheena D of SDH Entertainment LLC. You can find me at SDH Entertainment or at The Publishing Coach on IG.
All right. Thank you for coming out.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Can you go ahead and tell us how you grew up and how you got into the acting scene or the entertainment realm?
Sure. How did I grow up? Well, I am originally from Southeast DC.
Shout out. Ooh.
Grew up around Savannah Street, Parkland Terrace. Moved up to Northwest when I was 7 years old, and basically the rest is history. 7 years old. 7 is my life path number. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with what your life path number is.
I gotta learn something. I've been knowing about some angel numbers and 222s, 111s, 444, or something like that.
Yeah, your life path number is when you add your birthday, the month, the day, and a year, all single digitly. And then it has to equal down to 1 digit number. Or unless it's a master number like 11 or 22, then you don't put it down to a single digit. So mine equals number 7. So it just happened that we moved to Southeast DC when I was 7, and the house that I lived in equaled to number 7. So I just really feel like my life has been in complete alignment. And it's actually crazy, not to even like get too deep into it, but when my mom passed away, it was in my 34th year, which equals the number 7. So I definitely feel like my journey thus far has been destined. But how did I get into writing stage plays is my second year of college. I took a stage play class. I took a playwriting class.
Is that your first time ever hitting the stage, or did you do stage plays when you was little at all? Or college your first step?
No. So when I was younger, I always wrote, and I always made people laugh.
Okay. And
my aunt one day told me, she said, "You're going to be a comedian." And I was like, no. So I actually did perform at Broadway Comedy Club in New York City, and I got a standing ovation both times. I'm really mad. I kicked myself in the gut a lot that I did not follow through with that. I followed up with it a few years later and performed at a comedy club on Georgia Avenue. They loved me. He asked me to come out to another club, but I was so caught up in being in love, and that person didn't want to go, so I didn't go. So, but yeah, so that's my journey is unfolding. I'm still doing comedy here and there, but I haven't really necessarily got back into it full blown yet. Mostly because I just had a baby. She's 6 months, and I have a son that's 4. Thank you. So I'm trying to find that balance currently of how to, live out my dreams and also juggle my family.
Juggle your family?
Yes.
Did you have any plays when you were younger, acting and any school plays or anything like that?
It's crazy.
No? So you just went to college after you started writing and putting in the work? Or is comedy your first time on a stage? Entertainment wise, talking at your audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, unless I'm sure I could have been in the choir or something at church or something like that. When I watched Moesha, and I was 9 years old, I was like, that's what I want to do. And that's when I figured out, because before I wanted to be a pediatrician. So, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know. I could never be a person that be on stage. So I feel like, for me, hearing your story, it's as a person looking at it, it's with the comedy, standing ovation, no way I could be on stage, and that's when you took your writing and went to college. and started going
Okay, no. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So I skipped the whole timeline. So
Okay.
the comedy actually took place after I graduated from college.
Okay, cool.
I graduated from college in 2008. I don't know what year I did that at the Broadway Comedy Club. But here's the funny part about it. I had actually took a comedy class from a comedian. He's well known. His name is Joe Matarese. Well, he was well known back then. I don't know if he's well known now.
Heard her name.
And you know, the way that it was different. Let me say that. Because I didn't when we did that show, nobody laughed at any of my jokes. None of them.
Was it any boo or just silent?
It was just quiet. Because I did jokes about me growing up in a hood. It was a room full of white people. Like, they didn't
relate.
So, and it was crazy, right? Because the dude, it was a dude there, I forgot his name. When I went to Broadway Comedy Club and he seen me there, he was like, "What you doing here?" Because, you know, he was in the class with me. I was like, "I'm about to perform." He was like, "What? But you bombed." Right? So after I went up, I performed, got a standing ovation. I looked around for him. I was like, "What's this nigga?" Gone. He was gone.
So he wanted to wait for you to try to fail again and try to watch you.
I guess. I ain't never seen him after that.
What was the crowd like at that at the Brooklyn?
At the Broadway Comedy Club?
Broadway.
Oh, they were awesome. They came up to me afterwards and they was like, "You did such an amazing job." And I was like, "Really?" Like, I knew I did because I felt the energy and, you know, everyone's cracking up laughing and my family came from North Carolina to support me. So the crowd was awesome.
Was it the same act that got booed? Or was this a new material?
No, it was new material. So I'm not saying that it was necessarily
Not booed. They
the,
were mad.
yeah. I'm not saying it was necessarily the teacher who taught. I'm just saying that the way that he was, because I felt like the things that I wanted to talk about, he was like, no, you should just talk about this. Like, you know, like, so I felt like I wasn't really into it because it's not really what I wanted to perform.
Yeah. It's like, "Hey, how about you come and do like, I'm trying to mold you to my craft kind of style instead of helping you build your craft and your style." Like,
Absolutely. I mean, I'm grateful for it though. I'm grateful for all experiences. I'm grateful for the non-laughs and all the laughs.
let me ask you, did you do any acting in college?
So here's the thing. It's crazy because my professor told me, he said, "Sheena, you can't start stuff and then don't finish." So in college, I would say I had a fear of failure, or a fear of being too great. So I auditioned for a show, I got into the show, but then I stopped going to rehearsals. And I don't know why. I can't answer why. But I was in one production, yes, in college.
Yeah, what was the name of that?
What was the name of that show? I don't remember.
You don't know, like, what was it about?
What your role was?
She said,
That was
"Nope, I
years ago.
buried it in the treasure chest I've never
I
opened."
don't remember. That's so sad. I hope my college professor don't look at it. He's going to be like,
So, like, that journey of, like, you know what, I could do it, let me stick to it. When did you start going ahead and start sticking to the things you start putting your mind to?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I always had that tenacity in me, but I guess it really didn't start until like 2014 when I did my very first production in front of everybody. But prior to that, I did write a urban fiction called Misunderstood. So maybe it started about that time after I finished the urban fiction. I was like, okay, I can do this.
So you always been like an author, putting your thoughts into the books. And how did that? Can you give us a little bit on that book right there?
Ooh, Misunderstood. Let me tell you, I don't even promote that book anymore because I feel like I'm in a different place within my life.
Gotcha.
And it is an urban novel. Everything possibly that you could think of that would be crazy and out of the box is what that character did.
Okay.
And her name was Nikki. It was funny because one of my friends read it. She was like, "Nikki has a lot of similarities of you, but not the crazy part." She was just more so saying it because, like, you know, at the time I drove to Toyota Corolla, things like that.
What's that movie? Best Man. He was like, that sound like me in this book. This might be me in this book. Oh, what's me? So
I mean, hey, it's still available on Amazon if anybody want to go in there and just copy, just to, give me my little 5 cents.
So you did that in 2000.
What year did I write that book? It had to be 2010 or 11, because I was in a abusive relationship. So I think all that just went into
Put into that.
Yeah. Sometimes I sit back, like I've tried to sit back and read it because so many people have told me like you should come out with part 2 or you should write a stage play about it. But I can't imagine that on stage. Like that'd just be too much. Or like make it into a movie. But when I go back and read it, I'd be like, yo, what the?
I already put that in there.
Right. Like.
But I feel that's a great release for people who do that and do like entertainment. Put your release into your work so everybody else can see it and be like, all right, somebody else is dealing with it, or somebody else's life is worse, or mine ain't that bad. You know what I mean? So you said 2014 is when you did your first production. Was that all on you?
Meaning what?
Like your back and your mindset, you setting everything up. You with the face of it, like all on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel like that was a pressure. It's like it's all you. If it go bad, it's your fault.
Yeah, I don't remember feeling that scared feeling. I guess I don't remember feeling scared. I remember feeling like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay.
And then that show actually sold out both nights. It was a small theater. It was more like a black box theater, but we made it to where you could do a full length production. Mm-hmm. It was only like 80 seats, but
is it 80?
Yeah.
I never saw that 80 seats. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really, really thankful. My whole family showed up to that production. I was really thankful for that. But that production, it's funny because all of my productions always have something to do with like what I have going on within my life. During that time, I had started to come into like what people would consider as consciousness, and that production reflected a young woman who was battling alcohol addiction, but being married to someone. I'm sorry, a young Christian woman, let me say that, who was battling alcohol addiction, but being married to someone who would consider himself as an atheist. So kind of like show the balance and the battle between that, not knowing if their marriage was going to survive. And I had a lot of older spiritual music in there. So, it really caught the focus of the older generation. Like
some hymns and hymns.
Yeah, I like putting old spiritual hymnals in the stage plays, but it's like a lot of videographers I talk to, they're like, oh, well, you can't publish this because you have the music in there. But I've learned that if you only use like a snippet of it, then it's okay. It's not like using the whole song. But yeah.
You know what? You took my whole drink, bar for bar. You know what I mean? So how long did it take you to put that idea together and have the creation done back to 2014? Had you put like years into it, or did you take like a year before you just like might have put it together, make it work?
That's a good question. I felt like it was over time. I can't remember specifically how long it took me to write that because I don't feel like writing is ever done. So even after I cast, I'm still going in there changing and editing things out. Like even when I start seeing it on stage and I'd be like, oh, I could put this here because that makes more sense. So yeah, I was writing the whole time, all the way throughout.
You feel that way?
It's a process.
Yeah, that's I feel like a lot of people go edit every time. Like, you know what? Or you got a character that fits your idea, but you take their vibe and their essence and their facial expression. Like, you know what? I can picture you slamming that down, but I couldn't picture the person I picture slamming it down. But when you do it, it's like, oh, it's different. Like,
absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So how hard is it like putting everything together, giving out the script and having people like, you know what? I want to be a part of this, like part of the casting thing. How do you go about casting?
Well, we usually just have open auditions. I sometimes have people sending their headshots. If I see, like for the last stage play we did in 2019, which was called Make a Change to Keep Some Change, the person who actually emails you, the one who's working with me, Shanye, when I seen her picture, I already knew. I was like, oh, you're gonna be good for De Janeiro. Like I already knew. So that usually is what happens sometimes. If I see your face, I'm like, okay, yeah, like that perfectly. You fit perfectly into it. Depending on who I have on my team with me in auditions at the time, we all sit down there and just kind of go through everyone's performance. We usually ask that auditioners come prepared with a monologue or a song if it has a singer role. And then if we, more than likely, we would ask you to read from sides if we really feel like, okay, this is a possibility. Once that is done, we give you a call back. For a callback, you might go up against another actor who was really good as well. And then we'll just pick from there.
So do you have them read the script, or you like, you know what, put that down, let me see, improvise a little bit?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. Sometimes we'll do that if we find that the actors are struggling with the script, because everyone's not a good co-reader, and we understand that.
Everybody like, I can't talk like this.
They're reading.
Yeah, they sound like they're reading, and then they can't really like get into it. They're, with their emotions.
I said stop.
So how important is the experience, or are you like willing to take chances on somebody that's new?
I love definitely want to open it up to new and fresh faces. For the most part, I've had new and fresh faces, but there's a few people from college who I would put in a stage play like constantly, just because I love their vibe, and they come there not with no drama. They come get their work done and roll out. Other people that I've worked with in the past, love them to death, but I'm like, we can't move forward. So yeah, right now I have it open. I don't have anyone casted for any parts. I don't have anyone technically in mind for any parts. And we have about 11 roles. And they are all paid.
And it's for the one you're working on now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What's the average length of a stage?
It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Hopefully. I try to learn to put mine down a little bit lower, because it's like you have to put so much information into 3 acts, and it's supposed to only be 2 hours, and it's like, but you don't want to miss anything. My stage plays it's ran over just a little bit sometimes.
And can you break it down for people who don't know? Because that was like some terminology, like 3 acts. Because I just know stage play. You know what I mean? At the beginning, middle, end. Is that like what it is?
Yeah.
3 acts? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Beginning, middle, end. And they also have like short, like gosh, now I can't remember the other terminology for it. Shorter stage plays, which is one that we did, was called Judge Me Not. We got a really great review for that in the DC Metro newspaper.
Shout out to that.
Yes, that was more of a black box theater production, so it was only 45 minutes.
So I know it's how often do you rehearse? Because I was saying it's like, in a movie, like you can edit, shoot this a million times.
Yeah, if I see a stage play, do you have like a cut? Like it's live, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a movie, you can, if I mess up, you can shoot it a million times.
I got you.
So like, how often do you rehearse?
We usually try to keep it to the weekend, because people have busy schedules during the week, working and things like that. So either on the weekends or during the week. Usually we just meet on Saturdays, every Saturday until the production, unless the actor can do something different. And if it's an actor that we feel like we might need to work with them a little bit more, then we'll just let them know, like, hey, we need to work on this a little bit more. So they might have to put in more time than everybody else.
Okay.
But that's what I love, to go back to what you said, that's what I love about theater, is that it's live. You can't, there is no, oh shoot, I messed up. It's like you messed up, but you got to keep it moving. You got to play it off. You can't make it look like you messed up, because they don't know. They don't know what's going on.
It's not from the top.
They don't know what's going on. So you just got to keep rolling with it.
Like go back to the previous, what you said previously, like recasting. Do you like recast with the same type of person, or do you recast and have that person that you're comfortable with? Do you know they can play any kind of role, or you know you have them stick to usually one role? Now, some people get typecast. That's it. Typecast.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. So you asked me about typecasting?
No, like recast. Like you got your favorites, and some people like, you know what? I'll work with that. You did good this play. Not. I won't ask you next time. But you got people you probably work with, like I said, in college, and you be like, you know what? I want you for the next one, and I know you're gonna do good in this one, so that's for the next one. Even though it's not a role, I might write a role for you, or I might write something, and I just know you might fit it.
Yeah, I've definitely done that before. I have in mind kind of two of the actors who I would like to use, the ones that I said that I would always use them. Like, I would legit take them with me. I'm talking about when it gets to, okay, we're going on tours, you know, like, yeah, y'all gonna ride with me because y'all show me the professionalism that it takes. Or, you know, putting aside the fact that we're friends, you know what I mean? They still come and audition just like anyone else and don't expect any extra handouts or anything like that. So yeah, I have definitely done that. You know, the last play that we did, there was a role that one of my homegirls played, and she's usually good at playing older roles. I didn't want to necessarily cast her in an older role because I knew that she said that she didn't feel like she wanted to stop doing older roles.
Yeah, like I said, I'm getting tired of this.
Yeah. But she does really good at playing an older woman. And the musical director at that time, he was like, man, but I really see her in this part. Like I just really see her in this part. So I went ahead and had her in that part. But,
yeah, that's how it is. Though. Like I see what you're great at. I know you might be tired. Just give me one more. Just give me one more comedy skit or one more like that. But I feel like a lot of people do that, and I feel like there's a lot of chemistry. Have you ever? No, I'm going right back. I see a lot of people do that. Do you still have the same team you had in the beginning, or they have interchanged?
It has literally changed. Okay. Everything has changed. I think that COVID definitely changed a lot of things for everyone because our last production was in 2019, right before COVID. And it's crazy because you look up and you're like, dang, it's been that long since it seemed like it was yesterday. You know,
COVID-19 is 2023,
right? So a lot of things have changed. A lot of life changes. A lot of different obstacles and things where you have to like move a different way. So yeah, it's right now my team consists of myself and a musical director, one of my college professors who is on a set design. He's a set designer, but he's also helping plan out the production. I'm looking for a stage manager as well, and also Sean Gay, who's been assisting with like publicize, whatever the word is.
Put it out there.
There we go.
Put it out there to the world. So you have somebody who actually builds a set up for you?
Yeah.
That's dope. That's real dope. So everything kind of like in-house, everybody's building together and keeping things together.
Yeah, he was my set design teacher. Okay. I wish I would have paid attention to that in school more. I did.
You took that knowledge yourself and was like, all right, cool, I can do it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in this day and age, you kind of want to be able to do a little bit of everything so that you never go broke or that you never have to, or so that you wouldn't necessarily have to depend on just working a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I just spent like 3 hours, 4 hours just trying to fix my heat. I was not freezing in the middle of the night. I know how that is. I'm not paying this. I'll do it myself. So, like, how long did it usually take you to write your script for your plays? And is it a play? Is it really a play if you don't have singing?
Yeah.
So you can have a play with no singing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I never seen a play with no singing. I've never seen one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I first did my very first production, I didn't put songs in it.
Okay.
I had like, I'm not going to put songs in it because I did have the spiritual hymnals in it, but it wasn't a lot. Because I was like, anytime I wanted to go audition, I don't even know if you asked me that. So I was in stage plays prior to writing stage plays.
Okay.
You did ask me that, but I'm thinking, when you said that, I was thinking more of college. But yeah, I remember when I used to go audition, I used to always be like, dang, it always got to be a singer role. Like, I can't sing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I want to make sure I make roles for people who
can't think.
Right, who can't sing, but they love to act. So I made sure and did that. This production I have, which is called Crucified, it does have some singing roles in it, though.
Okay. You mind going and talk about that? How you got that? Like, go on.
Yes. So the idea for Crucified is basically Crucified is basically about a young woman's struggle with addiction. And, dealing with addiction, it resurfaced childhood trauma. And that childhood trauma leads to family secrets, which results in breaking up, which was once a tight-knit family. The concept for that stage play. I do write movies as well. But the concept for that stage play came in at just basically the things that I was dealing with within my life. During the time and the passing of my mother transitioned. I had a lot of things going on. My brother-in-law had just transitioned. My mom had transitioned. And then I found out I was pregnant, like right after that. So that's where the idea of Crucified came in at. And the reason I called it Crucified is because I was being crucified. There's no other way to really put it other than that's exactly what it was.
Do you feel like, I don't know, maybe you feel like you needed to write that play?
Absolutely. I felt like a part of me felt like I need to write it because I need to put my side of the story out there. That might be a little bit selfish, but it is what it is. And then the other part of me felt like I needed to write it because I want to help suicide people, or I don't say victim, suicide victims, or people who feel like that they are contemplating suicide.
Yeah, stuff like depression and mentalness is where it's very much aware now, but it's still no way to help with it. Now we're more aware, but there's no way to help the problem. So we just try to have other people be like, no, we all dealing with it. And I feel like it's like, oh, we are, but what can we do to get past it? So like with you writing that down, was it like a release of putting on your,
It's a constant release. Even still talking about it is still a little bit hard. Writing that stage play was one of the hardest things I've done. Besides be ridiculed and crucified by my family and my friends. That was one of the hardest things I've done because it reopened different emotions about, different people in my life and the way that I felt about them. It was really it was challenging to write this play. Like I almost was like, I'm not going to do it. I changed my mind like 3 times. I was like, I'm going to write another play. Or I have a whole bunch of plays that I started. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to finish writing this one and put that one out. But something just kept telling me like, no, that wasn't your plan. So why are you doing that? You need to stick to your plan because this play might actually minister to that person that feels like that they are like done. You know what I mean? Like they about to hop off the edge, jump in front of a car. It might really minister and like help save their life because if they can see that after all the stuff that I went through, I'm still here and still standing, and it'll give them a little bit of hope. I'm trusting that it will anyway.
For sure. Do I feel like, cause I see that you went down your spiritual awakening journey. Do you feel like that was a great thing to help you in life when you got to sit back and start to learn more of the culture-wise and spiritualness and with yourself? Did it open the door for you to be like, it makes it easier for me to write and help other people in the world as well?
Yeah, definitely. The spiritual awakening is so funny because it's like you never reach like a pinnacle, this pinnacle that everyone feels like you're going to reach. Like we're all going to reach it when we transition. Yeah. It's like it's just a constant. It's a constant. I don't want to say battle. It's a constant journey. It's a
constant eye opener to everything. And you thought that was something, but now it's like, this is what it really is every time in the world.
Yeah. But it has helped me with writing because a lot of things I'll put into the play, like a lot of my thoughts about things that I feel about the world, controversial topics and things like that. And it'll help, the audience will come up to me and be like, wow, I never thought about that, So yeah, it definitely does help to get out what I'm thinking without people thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah, I feel it.
Definitely.
So, have you had people tell you, anybody that's come to you, please tell you how it might have affected them?
Oh yeah, all the time people come up to me and tell me like, wow, I learned a lot from your play. Make a change to keep some change. One of the characters, I deal with so many characters on a daily basis, like literally in my head and then on a piece of paper, so I can't remember every single character. But he basically, okay, so that play took place during Christmas time, and he basically broke down the reason or the reasonings behind Christmas and why he didn't celebrate it, So of course, audience members came up to me and was like, wow, I never thought about that, and I would like to sit here and rehearse like a whole line that he said in the play, but baby, I got baby brain. So I just had a baby.
So it just opened up people's perspective to something different and look at it, and you also give like everybody got characters, you know what I mean, and within themselves. You this character that day, you that character that day, that character. That way you get to actually focus and put your energy to make that character that best character from your mindset wise. So you got to create and put out something and get somebody's perspective. For somebody who like that character, that's not even all the way you. That's probably a person that's always like that character. That's pretty dope though.
Do you have a favorite aspect of the whole thing? Like, is it like writing, seeing it on stage, or just the reactions to it? Is there one that's a particular favorite of yours?
It's all of everything you just mentioned, writing it, seeing it on stage, and a lot of times I go sit out in the audience because I want to see what the audience is seeing, and I look around at people's expressions as they're watching it. Seeing it on stage is always a beautiful thing because it's like, wow, like what I wrote on a piece of paper is here. It all come together, and even just the small recognitions, which I don't nobody really needs accolades and things like that, but the small recognitions are always great. My children's dad seen it from like the beginning to end, and he was like, wow, it was like different seeing it on stage. Like it was like it came to life, so that was good from him, because he got to see it at the rehearsals. Sometimes things don't always go good in rehearsals, where it was like he was like, I don't know, I just want to be looking on stage. But once he got up on stage, he was like, oh, okay, all right. He was like, what's good seeing it from the beginning to the end.
You get to see the progress. I feel like everything, when people say it's like my babies or like a baby, you get that incubation period, you get the nutrients and everything, build it up, and then they had a baby. Everybody like, oh, then when people baby grow up, like, oh, now I get to see it. Now it's prospering and spreading to the other world, and came back and making more. You know what I'm saying? Like, for your vision, what do you have like your vision in the next 3 to 5 years with your plays?
Oh wow, my vision with my plays. Wow. Well, because I have so many different things going on, I'm planning. I'm going to have a theater. I want to have my own theater, stationary, because I don't want to have to constantly keep paying to perform in theaters. So I would love to have my own theater, and I would love to be able to have my shows there. Also, it's going to be open to, other artists as well who need performance spaces and things of that nature. And of course, tours. Definitely want to be able to do tours, but more so I want it to be like the city is asking for us.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? As opposed to us still having to, go there and
build the name, build the foundation.
Right. But in addition to that, also have the Horn Company of the Arts, which is my nonprofit that I'm gonna in the process of starting. We're gonna be offering theater classes, singing, dancing, and all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna probably combine SDH, not necessarily combine them because they're gonna be two different entities. That's gonna be a nonprofit, and that's gonna be for profit. But overall, it'll kind of still probably be within the same building once we get our theater. So it'll be the Horn Company of Arts and SDH.
Have everything in house and one roof.
Exactly.
All right, can you give me like the top 3 places you would want to have your plays shown at? Since you know what I'm saying, you know, if they come like, no, we want you here in this city because you'll play like that. Where would you go? Your top 3 places?
Well, we're definitely going to have to go with New York City.
I think it's like no one from Broadway stage.
Yeah. Right? I do have a production that I would love to have on Broadway that I'm gonna probably push for next year.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
That's like they here in DC.
He's so spicy. Nah. So New York, definitely. I don't know. I might want to say Chicago. I mean, these are all theater district places. In Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you got like any top 3 plays besides yours you would have people tune into? Like, you know, like just check that play out or something, you know what I mean? Because, you know, people got them plays, you're like, that's a good play. You know, I watched that 10 times. You know, I hadn't seen Tyler Perry movies and melted in my VCR from my grandmother before, so... Thoughts of a Colored Man. Okay. That sounds like one you want to learn some stuff from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be good at Crying for Old Man.
That was actually on Broadway, huh?
Is that gonna be there Crying for Old Man?
I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's the type of place I'm gonna go to.
I'm sure. A couple of August Wilson plays, if I can remember any of them off the top of my head. But yeah, definitely August Wilson. I really love his writing. I do.
And I heard you say, what's the difference between stage and Broadway? Stage play and Broadway plays.
Broadway plays they're really basically musicals.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're basically musical productions.
It's like the Cats and Mamma Mia's and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's also just like a fancy name they give it. You know what I mean? You're on Broadway.
It's like a privilege, right?
I heard you say you write movies. You have any in production? Any you plan on putting into production?
Yes, I'm going to be putting out a movie. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I cannot say what the name is right now. You know what I mean? Because you know how that is.
Copyright it first.
All right. I'm going to be putting out a movie next year, right after the show. Well, I'm not going to say put it out, but we're going to be casting for that as well. That is my first comedy movie that I wrote. It is very, very funny. It is, of course, somewhat of a all-black cast. With the exception, we have like a role for Asian and Caucasian.
We say it's family based. It's family based movie. Family based.
There we go.
Yeah, we say family based.
What would your role be? Writer, director, star?
For what, the stage plays?
The movie.
Oh, you know what? I think that for the movie, I'm going to employ a director. And I only said that because I've never directed a movie. I would be the co-director, just to make sure they're not trying to change things that's in my script. But I'll be the co-director, but I think I would want to get a director. So more just like the writer. I want to kind of like sit back. I'm okay with sitting back and be like, okay, you could direct this, have somebody else direct it, and, put me down as the writer or the co-director. And yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. You got anything you want to tell anybody else before you wrap it up for you?
Yes. A lot. Let's see. The list goes on and on. Okay. In addition to doing stage plays, I'm also an author and a publisher at I Middle Publishings, LLC. where our mission is raising frequencies one book at a time. So that is a publishing company that I started. And I started that company because I wanted to have a company to treat our authors with integrity. A lot of these places, a lot of these big publishing places take a lot of your money, or excuse me, say a lot of your hard work and give you cents back. And it's really important to me that we treat our authors with integrity and, let them see thank you for bringing your work to us. And this is, this is your rewards, basically. I also help and assist other authors with publishing their books. Right now, I have a workshop set up for children. I deal a lot with children.
Shout out to the kids.
Indeed. From ages 8 to 12, we have it where your child could come in to the workshop and basically build their book from beginning to end with illustrations. So the book will be ready. It'll be a ready to print book. So it'll basically be digital, but the parent could decide whether or not they want to print it. And it's going to be very legit illustrations. You know what's the crazy part? I did not bring any of my books. I'm tripping. I just thought about that.
Okay, you bring them next time.
Yes. So that is what I have going on. Also, I have workshops going on to teach playwriting to students 12 to 17 years old. That's going to be online. It's going to be a virtual class, basically teaching them how to write a 3-act production.
Yeah, because I still can't read books without the pictures in them. Mm-hmm. I'm an illustrated person. Like I can't. I wait till the movie come out. Put it like that. Yeah. So like I see you get back to the community and everything like that for the kids. That's like one of your biggest things to keep doing for the community. That's dope.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even the books that I write, A King in Training Wells, The Adventures of Morocco and Cousin Mayat, and also A Goddess in Training. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are my.
Oh man, shout out to you. That's somebody I read the book.
Was it purple?
Yeah, my son read the book before. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my book. Mm-hmm. Okay, I appreciate that. So it's basically teaching our youth the truth about who they are. Growing up, we weren't told. Well, I can't say we weren't told. I don't know everyone. I can speak from my own experience. Growing to DC public schools, where they're like, "You're a slave, you're a slave, you're a slave." Like that's all that's thrown in your face. Mm-hmm. They don't teach you about melanin. They don't teach you about chakras. They don't teach you that your hair is part of your central nervous system, and that's why it's important not to cut it. There's a lot of things that they don't teach that I had to put in the book to teach our youth. To teach our youth the truth about who they are. So that, when they come up on life, different obstacles in life, that maybe they would choose a different path. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically what those 3 books are about. They're like a sequel. So it's The King in Training Wells, The Adventures of Morocco, and then The Goddess in Training is teaching our young women about themselves. That book is a little bit challenging for me because it's, they're kids. But you also want to teach your kids you want to teach them about themselves and how important their bodies are, especially as little girls and going to grow up to be women. And it teaches about the connection to the moon that we have as women and things. So it teaches a lot of different things, basically, that we're not learning and teaching our children about self-love.
In the real life and not this other socialite stuff,
Yes. Also, if you're interested in a production, we have group rate tickets going on the site right now. Also, advanced tickets, which is only $25 in advance. So you want to definitely get your tickets now. That will be up January 31st. And after that, you're going to have to pay, general admission fee. And who wants to do that right now? You know what I'm saying? This time of day and age. Let's go ahead and pay the upfront $25. Basically, showing your support to our people, to the community.
Yeah. Go get your tickets in advance. Go
Absolutely.
Support the movement. And stay tuned. You said it's releasing again? It's April 14th and 15th, 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Slayton House Theater in Columbia, Maryland. All right, so get those tickets before January 31st. or you be paying full price.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we also got RSVP seating. The first 2 rows, we got senior rates discount and young youth discount rates as well.
Okay.
All on the website.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming out. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and tell me where to follow you at again.
Okay, so I can be followed at The Publishing Coach on IG, at SDH Entertainment as well. That is for the entertainment business for movies and stage plays. At I in the Middle Publishings, E is EITM Publishings on IG. Just follow me at The Publishing Coach because then you can just get to all my different pages from there.
You go hit them links in there.
Yes. Yeah. And if anyone's interested in auditioning for Crucified production, you can reach out to us at castings@sdhentertainment.com. We have 11 roles. We're looking to fill it. We are also looking for a stage manager, and everything is paid because we don't want anybody working for free. Not in this day and age. Not in this day and age.
Just free ain't even free.
And
it's your boy Sly Got No Lie.
Shampoo, aka Big Shampoo.
Unpunished Thoughts Podcast.